to all living things that cry out for peace.
Super fans, I'm back from what you guys can see by the title of this video. Now, if you did follow my video where I talked about Beerus fighting Merge Zamasu, I did specifically mention that I would make another video talking about which fusion should be the one to battle Merge Zamasu. Now, this is the video right here, guys. This is a debate that has been ongoing now ever since we discovered this fusion would emerge. Now, personally, this video, will take a while for me to break down you guys everything that I want to discuss, but I would suggest you guys following my thoughts throughout this video just so you get a clear understanding and pretty much fully appreciate the epicness that Dragon Ball Super is about to unveil before our very eyes, because talking about it will get you guys hyped up, no question about it. Now, let's, fasten our seatbelts and pretty much, hop on the ride. So, Vegeto or Gogeta? Let's start from the basics. Now, we all know that Gogeta is not canon, and if you guys didn't know, there you have it. Gogeta is not canon. If you don't even know what canon is, canon pretty much means something that ties in with the original storyline, and pretty much something that the original creator, says it's going to happen. So, if it's not in the manga, it's most likely not canon. This has been like an argument that way back in the day, a lot of people were, I guess, throwing their 2 cents to it. So, pretty much canon and not canon. Gogeta has been a part of the movie The Fusion Reborn, in which case that does not consider to be canon. It might somehow tie in with the Dragon Ball Z timeline. You could pinpoint the Gogeta movie where the Gogeta fusion actually is introduced for the very first time, somewhere around the time that Goku fought Kid Buu, I suppose. But that doesn't consider to be canon. The movies are a completely different story in and of itself. And there, of course, you had Gogeta Super Saiyan 4, which was a fusion that was introduced in Dragon Ball GT. Again, Dragon Ball GT is not considered to be canon due to the fact that Toriyama wasn't actually heavily involved in that. The only thing that Toriyama specifically did is he drew the design for the Super Saiyan 4. And there you have it. That was Toriyama's involvement in Dragon Ball GT. So, in this video, what I'm going to try to do is I will try to analyze both Vegeto and Gogeta, and at the ending, possibly give you guys my final verdict on which fusion I believe would be more soothing to enter this fight, and whether or not you'll be capable of actually defeating Merge Zamasu. These are some of the points that I'll try and break down / analyze in this video. So, Gogeta is a fusion that lasts for 30 minutes, so it is not a permanent fusion. After 30 minutes of time, the fusion expires, and the beings that are, in a sense, fused, they separate. So, and I think you also need to wait another 1 hour in addition to that in order for the fusion to be able to be, represented. So the Metamorph fusion has a couple of disadvantages in a sense. So, for this fight, the time limit is something that you would want to get rid of because you don't know for how long this fight will go on. So if we were to see the fusion on that department, Gogeta certainly is lacking in terms of how much time he's able to go on fighting. And if we were to take into account the fact that how much power Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta, in which case I do believe that Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta would be the only solution for this fight, would just be overwhelming. The time that the fusion would I suppose would stand would be much less. We'd be talking about 10 to 15 minutes, possibly even less than that. That I couldn't possibly I suppose in a sense specify that because we don't really know. But what we do know is that the time that the fusion lasts does drop drastically when the power of the fusion is just so overwhelming, in which case Gogeta Super Saiyan Blue would be. So, another thing that we need to take into account as opposed to Gogeta is besides the time limit, which is like 30 minutes, plus the drain that the power would take, that it would decrease the time. drastically is the fact, like I said, that he is non-canon. Now, we can avoid this situation and this problem that's been presented there by making Gogeta canon. We look at Goten and Trunks. The fusion dance has been implemented into Dragon Ball Z, so the fusion dance is technically canon. The term of Gogeta is not actually canon because the character itself is not being introduced in the legitimate show yet. So Goku could teach Vegeta this fusion dance, the moves, and then they could create Gogeta. So that is Gogeta for you. Now you have Vegeto. Now the pros of Vegeto being introduced in this fight are a lot, and one of them being that pretty much he doesn't have a time limit. We saw that the Supreme Kai and Tobito Kai were able to defuse due to using the Namekian Dragon Balls. I'm pretty sure even the Dragon God Zamora, the Super Dragon Balls, could do the same thing. So in a sense, Vegeto is a lot more soothing for this fight, you guys, because even though the fusion is permanent, so they would have to defuse afterwards somehow. They have two ways to do that, either using the Dragon Balls, or of course Majin Buu could turn them to chocolate, and if you go inside Buu, then the fusion just doesn't work in there. So for some reason unexplained as of this point, the fusion doesn't work inside of Majin Buu's body. So the best solution for this fight, I personally believe, would be Vegeto, because he is canon. The fusion is a lot easier to perform that way. Gowasu could toss them the earrings that he possesses as of this point in order for the fusion to be performed. And of course, you don't need to be at the same power level to perform the fusion. That's another disadvantage that the Metamorph fusion presents. The fact that your power levels must be evenly matched. Even if one's is a bit higher or the other's a little lower, the fusion won't work. So the Potara fusion will fuse you regardless of what. You would have Vegeto Super Saiyan Blue, which would be a monster. I'm pretty confident in Vegeto Super Saiyan Blue's power and abilities. I do firmly believe that he would destroy merged Zamasu. Now the fun theory comes in and says that, what if he can't, and somehow, some way Beerus needs to get involved. We don't know what could happen there, but personally, if you were to ask me my honest opinion, guys, I do strongly believe that Vegeto is the man for this fight. He would be more than enough to handle merged Zamasu. Now, the immortality factor is something that, it is difficult to pinpoint. We don't know what that does to the opponent. Vegeto could try all he wants, he could harness the power, but if merged Zamasu is immortal, then there's nothing that even Vegeto could do, unless he unleashes like a super tremendous, like super spirit bomb, combined with like a final Kamehameha or something crazy. I don't see them winning, because it is actually a very difficult question to try and answer whether or not if you would completely like decimate merged Zamasu if he's immortal, if he could come back. I'm pretty sure that if he's immortal, he could build himself from scratch, So I suppose that's what immortality does, because it wouldn't make any sense. Why wish for immortality if the person that you're fighting is able to kill you? So that's the whole reasoning, the whole point behind the immortality wish, I suppose. So that's why Garlic Jr. wished for immortality. We had seen back at the Dragon Ball Z that even though that was filler, that he could heal from even, deadly lethal wounds or lethal attacks. So I'm pretty sure merged Zamasu could do the same. I'm just a little bit curious whether or not if Vegeta would unleash a move that would completely decimate merged Zamasu, if he could come back from scratch. I'm pretty sure he could do that as well. I mean, Cell was able to revive himself with the, with the regeneration technique of the Namekians that Piccolo had, and he was able to regenerate himself from a single cell. No joke. So I'm pretty sure that merged Zamasu could do the same thing as well, and Cell was not immortal. So if Cell was able to do it, I can only imagine what the immortal fused Zamasu would be capable of doing. So one can only imagine my final verdict for this one, you guys, would be that possibly Vegeto holds more credibility and is a better fighter, I believe. I mean, Vegeto really is the man for this fight, to my eyes at least, and he hasn't been introduced forever. So, like I said, the final verdict would be that Vegeto is more powerful than Gogeta. Arguably, I believe he is a more powerful fighter and possibly even a little bit more gifted than Gogeta. We don't know, even though Gogeta has that star bust technique that he'll be able to, in a sense, kind of erase Black Zamasu from existence, just like the Hawkeye that Beerus did. So in a sense, that is a very good move that you want to have in your arsenal specifically. So we don't know, but like I said, my final say on this would be that Vegeto is more powerful. The fusion lasts. You don't have a time limit in the Potara fusion. You can defuse either Majin Buu, you know, turning you into a candy or chocolate and chewing you up. Then you diffuse, then it can spit them out. And then of course there's always the chance of them using the Dragon Balls to diffuse, just like Supreme Kai and Tobito Kai did. So I don't know if that was a tease for the fact that we could see Vegeto in the franchise. You never know Toriyama's ways and how he works in his mind, Dragon Ball, I suppose. But if we are to see a fusion be introduced in this arc, in which case there is a good chance for, after a very long time, it's highly likely that we will see a fusion, guys. I strongly believe that if there was ever time to see a fusion be introduced in Dragon Ball Super, this is the time. So make it happen, Toriyama, make it happen, Toei Animation, and bring Vegeto here. Now, there is always that chance that we will see Gogeta, but like I said, the pros and the cons of Vegeto and Gogeta were being broken down in this video, so I'm pretty sure you guys realize that Vegeto is a much better pick for this fight specifically, because I don't think that 10 minutes are enough for this fight, especially with the immortality factor playing in. So will Beerus, the God of Destruction, have to get involved in this fight? That is a big question that is going around, and that ties in with the fan theory video that I created before making this one, guys. So I would highly advise you guys going on ahead and checking that video out. There is a lot that I'm talking about in that video as well. So I don't know, one could only speculate so much, but the biggest question that is also thrown around right now is whether or not Beerus Hakai could break through the immortality. We don't know. That has never been explained or specified, if Beerus holds such technique that even immortals bow, in a sense. So we have no idea. Vegeta will unleash his fury on Black Zamasu once and if he gets introduced. So let me guys know why or whether or not you believe that Vegeto will be the one to be introduced. There's a lot of reasons that Vegeto, I suppose, oversees Gogeta on this one, but let me know. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please go ahead and hit the video up with a like, you guys. Share this video, share my channel, share the passion of Dragon Ball Super all around the world so that more fans can get to see my channel. And if you guys are a fan, as always, do not forget to subscribe to my channel, you guys, for more videos like this one. But I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm Sam, guys, signing off here. Ciao, adios, goodbye.